Halloween feast. Now, that's not something I think I've ever done on Halloween, but might not be a bad idea. I mean, I haven't even feasted on candy, I don't think, or maybe none in a very, very long time. But let's see what kind of Halloween feast we have going here, starting with the IMDb plot. A tale of a dysfunctional family which ends in tragedy, as it always does. And it's kind of funny. All right, a little humor too. Okay, so yeah, new film coming out. And I will say I received a screener for this one. So I'll let you guys know that. And with that, we will try to keep this as spoiler free as possible. Nah, I don't know that there's a whole huge lot of twists and turns here. I think as soon as this one kind of gets rolling, it's pretty straightforward, but I'll still, leave some out so you guys can enjoy that. So I will also, I believe I have a press release for this one, if I'm not mistaken, and if I do, I'll make sure to include the link from Promote Horror with that down below, so you guys can read more about the film and see when it's coming out and where you guys can catch it, and all that good stuff. So yeah, so I guess this one is going to have it has a pretty cool poster. I'll say that to start. But I guess it's going to have a couple of familiar faces in it. So for you horror fans, you'll catch maybe some a little bit newer, and some from past movies that you'll recognize. I'll leave that for you guys to check out. And it is honestly, it's basically a family disaster here, as it kind of hints at there. The movie kind of opens with a young girl here. She's the daughter in this family, and you kind of see her wandering around, and it's basically at towards the end of whatever chaos has happened. Then the movie kind of rewinds and kind of goes, I believe it's 8 months, if I'm not mistaken, previous to where the movie opened. And you see a couple of quick things, and then it moves closer and closer to Halloween. It will skip. It's not going to go month to month. I think it went from 8 to maybe 2 months, and then it get closer. So you're going to have to sit through 8 months here waiting. But basically, it sets up here the grandmother, I guess, or even her mother or whatever. You see her, and there's something just not right about her. And she has an issue with her husband there, and her husband's smoking, and she doesn't like it, and she's apparently warned him in the past to not do that. And eventually, she's gone a little bit crazy here and decides to chop off a finger, or she stabbed him. I don't remember which one. And that kind of gets the ball kind of rolling here. She then kind of gets committed. She goes for help. She served some jail time, I think, or in at least a mental institution or so forth, before she's eventually let out. A doctor eventually clears her and lets her out, allowing her to return to her family. And then I guess it's a period of, everybody's kind of unsure whether she's healed or she's okay or not. But we will see. In between all that, there are a number of other characters here you get to learn a little bit about and follow. There's the father. There is the doctor here that kind of signs her out. It will follow him. He has a little bit of a side story, and is going to have a side story with her too, that kind of involves everything. There's the brother, the young girl's brother here. He plays a little bit of a role. The girl also has a friend who's very much into, kind of like psychic stuff and Halloween, and very gothic and stuff. So she has a little bit of a role in things. And then there's where the young girl works. Her boss is kind of strict and kind of like a gangster type, and he's got some stuff going on there. So you got an arrange. You got some family members and then some other people here that are going to all kind of cause some chaos, and then all eventually end up coming together in the end in one way or the other. To me, I guess one of the things was, it kind of starts off with the young girl, and then shows the mother here and how she kind of goes, crazy, and that was kind of fine, and you kind of see that. But then the reason why I kind of say we have all these other characters is, then the movie starts kind of jumping around to these different characters, and what is going on, and to me, I thought the movie kind of got a little bit lost in that. You started, spending time with the daughter, and then she kind of went off, and then you had the father, and then when the father got reunited back in with the mother, they started some really weird, kinky kind of stuff, and then so that just seemed kind of out of nowhere. Then you had a little bit of time with the boss in this bar or club, whatever, and him being all gangster. And then you had the doctor, and then you saw the doctor happened to owe this gangster guy some money, and then there was that kind of drama. And I don't know, I just thought the movie started going in a little bit too many directions, and, kind of didn't stay just within the family. Now, again, I'm not certain how great of a movie it would have been just if it stuck just to the family. Maybe it kind of needed to branch off otherwhere, but I don't know. It just seemed a little scattered to me, and I didn't know that we needed to go in all these directions. It does cause a little chaos, I guess, when it says it's kind of funny. It did, add a little bit of funniness. I don't guess say this is a huge, it says comedy horror. I would say, this definitely not a serious horror movie. I don't think it takes itself tremendously serious. So maybe there's that. I didn't think it was, a huge comedy. I wasn't, utterly laughing on the floor about anything. But I don't know. It seemed to just go and spend too much time, in different places. And I don't know, I guess when it came back to, either the girl or the mother, who are really the two main characters here, I don't know. It just, like, you have the whole scene where she goes with a friend to, and then she has this relationship with a guy, I should say, mention that too. When she meets him, and she's kind of, getting to know him and so forth, and then she ends up taking him to her friend, the goth friend, and so forth, to kind of do like a reading or whatever. Like, they spent a lot of time on that, and it just seemed like it was just filling time, and I don't really know how important that was. It just seemed out of nowhere, and why are we spending so much time doing that? So there were a couple of scenes kind of like that, where the film just kind of goes somewhere, spends some time. It just seems like it was just eating up time to do that, and getting away from where the film was ultimately going. It will obviously, we're talking about a Halloween feast, and we see the countdown. So obviously we're eventually going to get to Halloween. Eventually we're going to have a feast. A little bit similar to, you see her in the beginning when I mentioned that she stabs the husband because he's been smoking. They're kind of having a nice dinner then, so it's kind of a similar thing there. Obviously, maybe a little bit bigger because it's Halloween, kind of trying to celebrate. And I'll just kind of say it's obviously going to go wrong in many a way, which again you can kind of expect. A lot of chaos and a lot of things go wrong in that scene, but obviously that's what we build to. But like I said, just getting to that point, it just seemed a little scattered and out there. I don't know. For me, I was just kept wondering, where are we going? Why are we going in these different directions and seeing these characters do these things? It just, it seemed like, when they, I don't know what their thoughts when they were putting the movie together. It just almost seemed like like we want to do this Halloween feast thing. We want to have this, crazy, woman character who's, kind of, off tilter here and doing some crazy stuff. But how do we get, from beginning to end and, mix in these characters and you need some characters to kill off. And not all, all these characters that I mentioned, not all of them are going to live throughout here. So, I don't know. I guess it's just a point of getting it from the beginning to the end and how they mixed everything together. With that, I will say that it is bloody at times. People are going to die. So, that I enjoyed that. That was fun stuff. So when the death scenes are there, they're good. Obviously, the Halloween feast, that kind of setup, that was good. So that part of it, I definitely enjoyed the blood, enjoyed some of the kills, and enjoyed some of the craziness. Again, I didn't think it was, so hilarious, a huge comedy or anything like that. But, the horror in it was not too bad. And, like I said, the mother here, she is nuts. And so that's kind of good. So yeah, I guess for a movie coming up, we're rolling, getting closer and closer to Halloween and the haunt season. I guess this is a good one to maybe warm up to things. I don't think it's going to be at the top of the list. But definitely one that you might use to warm up to, other things. So with that, I think I'm going to give it 2 pools of blood. Again, liking the blood in the movie, liking some of the craziness and the deaths. And definitely the feast, when we kind of get to that and the ending and the chaos, that was kind of good. But again, a little kind of scattered, kind of getting from the beginning to there. For me. So yeah, that's going to be 2 pools of blood out of 5 for this feast. So with that, horrorsgoredreviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly mostly video as for a while now, so you can like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody wants you to do here on YouTube. But if not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, so you can reach out to me there. Once you see this movie and you want to comment on it, please feel free to let me know there. If you have something you want me to review, let me know. Also in the comments section, please feel free to reach out to me there. If you will have something you want me to review, you want to comment on this movie, just make a mention about something in horror, feel free to do so. And again, I will try to include the press release link to this film down below as well, so that you guys can get some information about it and catch it hopefully this Halloween season and any other time in the future. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll catch you on the next review, horror fans.